So, if I say the name Mark McGuire, Derek Jeter, Tony Gwynn, Gary Sheffield, Manny Ramirez, Mike Piazza, Roger Clemens, you're gonna think those all could be Hall of Famers. You would think, some of the greatest players to ever play the game of baseball. Andre Beltre. If I mention Jim Tomei, I mention Eddie Murray. You already comes to mind. First thing comes to mind is those guys are like Hall of Famers. And I'm just strictly talking on the numbers. We're not going to get into about the other stuff that they should be all Hall of Famers. That's the first thing that logically will come to mind that you would think. You'd go, yeah, they had great careers. If I mention Wade Boggs too, you think, great careers. What if I told you something interesting like it would be a Scooby Doo moment? They never won an MVP. That's right. All the guys I mentioned never were league MVP. That is hard to imagine or fathom. When you think about, when I think about how dominant Roger Clemens was, it's like, wow, he never did. He won them Cy Young Awards, and he is arguably the greatest right hand pitcher. You can make a strong case for him. Piazza's offensive pop as an offensive catcher hangs with just about anybody you want to mention. You know, um, Fred McGriff was a powerful hitter, big time player. Mark McGuire, certainly, his impact and dominance, you just kind of like, wow, because he was a big time player. Isn't sometimes Eddie Murray one of the greatest switch hitters ever, and clutch. So it's always kind of like amazing when you hear these things like, he never did. That has to almost sound like a typo. Obviously, David Ortiz, but his legacy was really in the postseason where he was a beast. But, it's amazing when you think about it in totality. Sometimes it's like, wow, it didn't happen. So, yeah, this is an interesting list of players that never won a league MVP in baseball. They had great careers, but they never won a league MVP in baseball. So often than not, it gets kind of taken for granted that you just assume that because such and such and such and such. But it happened where they never won a league MVP. Um it didn't happen. It was like, wow. And you think about the totality, because they're some of the baddest players ever. And that shows you how competitive the game is. Because I can tell you, if I mention Roger Clemens, Tony Gwynn, Mark McGuire, those are three of the greatest players ever. Derek Jeter. I mean, that's four right there. And it's like, and when you think about how Jeter got inducted into Hall of Fame and he's in Yankees Hall of Fame and all the lore and he didn't, that's kind of like, wow. You think about Clemens' dominance, you got to go like, wow. So these are big time names. But again, there's a lot of politics involved, there's a lot of factors involved. It's not always just clear cut this or that, and they are subjective. But it just goes to show you that, hey, it can happen to some of the biggest names ever, too. So, but tell me what you think, though. And the names I mentioned, who do you think got snubbed? Who do you think that you thought should have gotten anyway? Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another, and share the video if you like, and hit that membership because when you do request videos like this, I bring forth. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm my one time peace.